I had a hard time turning on the TV last night. I knew what was going on. I followed it on Facebook. I followed it on Twitter, but I just didn't want to see the wall-to-wall coverage. And it's not surprising. This one was surprising because of the children, but when I heard it was a concert, I was like, of course it's a concert. I mean, did anybody else feel this way, that it didn't have the impact until you found out about the children?
It kind of rolled out slowly. At first, they just said, there may be a bombing. They thought it might have been a big balloon popping, they said. It was very odd, rolled out very slow, and then we didn't know if anybody died. Normally, some of that comes in quickly, and it didn't. This one really affected me because of the children. I feel like they have crossed a new line.
Once you found out the children, it was different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the terrorists, their pattern has been, especially over in Chechnya, that if people start to go numb inside, that's when they start going for the children. And I thought we were going to go numb inside faster than we did, which is a good thing. Beslan is this place in Russia, and you'll remember it once I start telling you. It's a place in Russia where on the first day of school, 777 kids went in, only 300 came out 3 days later. I'm sorry, 400 came out. And the terrorists they had the entire school wired. They had the children come in, and all the parents were there. It's a big deal in Russia on first day of school. All parents go. And so some of the parents were inside of the school. They put everybody into the gym. The parents, the men were beheaded. The women, the mothers, were raped in front of their children. Some of the children were just set on fire in the gym and just left to burn in the crowd. They would take children out and they were raping them for 3 days. They did this until the Russians had enough and just went in and killed them. And it was horrible. It is one of the worst things you will not be able to read the entire report of what they did. It was so bad.
Hearing about it's just bad enough.
Yeah, and it is coming in America or in the West. They will do something like this in the West. And I think this is the first foray into that. Once they know, hit the children and we really react, they will hit our children.
And interestingly enough, ISIS is saying that this is a victory against the quote-unquote Crusaders of the West. In other words, they identified those little kids as the Crusaders that were fighting against them. So they are justifying the murder of children by saying that they are enemy combatants.
So what do we do about this? Is anybody making did anybody hear anybody in the news say, okay, it's time we start talking reason? It's time we start saying this is an Islamist problem? Or are we still playing the same game?
I thought it was interesting that, and this is one of the things that they had at Red State this morning, it's interesting that, Obama for years and years has, every time one of these things has happened, has tried to really focus on, oh, this is just one guy, almost, in the face of contrary evidence. Whereas Trump's initial response, before really anything was known, was he talked about they and them. I mean, for whatever you want to say, he understands, even if it's just one guy, it's part of a pattern. It's part of an ideology. And his initial response was, these are losers, plural, and we are going to deal with they and them. It's not just this one guy, which is, I thought was kind of almost an obsession with Obama, is to always, it's just these two people did it.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that is good, but again, it's coming from, the right.